Good evening, good evening. How are you?
Evening, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. So Ross should be here. We're not too sure where Ross has gone. He's done a bit of a stee. I don't think he's out in a bus, so I'm not too sure where he is. And Steve may or may not be joining us a little bit later on. He's had to go to Wales for the day in the evening. So hopefully he'll join us at some point, but you never know. So Jay, good to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to be back, to be honest, after a bit of a holiday. Do you know what? When you're on holiday, these live streams, you really do appreciate them. Because when you sat, obviously, large periods of a holiday, you sat by the pool, you sat on a nice beach, and I think they call it relaxing, but it can be quite boring, can't it, at times? And even though I was on holiday with my family, I didn't watch live, but I caught up with the live streams. And they're just fantastic entertainment. I can see why people tune in on a Friday to listen to them, because it's just nice to, when you've got that downtime, just to listen to the live stream, listen to the reefing chat, hear what's going on with the community in the live chat. And it was really good. So I hope you don't think I'm sad, but I was watching and listening to both the live streams that you did. And I thought they were fantastic. But yeah, the Paul Hughes one, I really enjoyed the AAC one.
It was two very different ones. I must admit, you know, I was a bit nervous about doing that one, only because I weren't in the comfort of here and what I was going to do with a microphone. I mean, I've still got it. I bought 5 different microphones, and none of the buggers work. I need to return them, so I will return them because they don't work. Amazon, they didn't work.
Oh, none of them worked.
No, well, they didn't work on my kit, so maybe it's my incompetence. I don't know.
Well, it seemed to. Well, obviously, it worked on the live stream.
Well, yeah, because I used that.
Oh yeah,
it worked really well. Yeah, so even though we had the ones that's supposed to go on your lapel, and obviously I did that test a few days before, I couldn't get 2 mics working out of the same PC. And even though you can do something on the Mac and that, it was such a pig. But this one, I think I was quite nervous about it because I didn't know if it would pick up. You know how loud an LFS can be, even though it's not the loudest LFS. There was a tank behind, and there was a tank to the left, and I was a bit concerned, but there was no sound coming through other than our voices. So I was relieved in the end.
No, it works really well. That it's the Snowball mic, and I've done a bit of research, and that's like the most highest rated microphone for like affordability, but also for quality. So yeah, it came out well. These little reefs are quite noisy, aren't they, in the background? I can hear mine now just buzzing away.
Well, I've got to say, with mine, the pump is noisier than I thought. Now I've got the sponge that goes around it, so it stops it from vibrating, but it's still noisier than I would like. I mean, it's not as noisy as the other tank when I had 3 lights and Christ knows what else going, but it's still noisier than I would like. So I'm not too sure if I can do anything about it. I will try.
Ross knows a lot about noisy pumps. He's experienced that firsthand.
That was Steve's fault though, wasn't it? Didn't Steve recommend a dodgy pump to stitch him up?
Yeah, that was Steve who said get the Seachy, what was it, Seachy Synchro super silent one, and it came and it was like a jackhammer bouncing at the desk.
Super silent. Fancy giving Ross a super silent noisy one.
But I heard about the Seachy that they are really good pumps, and they're one of the only companies that offer a 5-year warranty. So I've heard only good things about it, apart from what you told me about the noise.
Yeah.
So
they weren't even 5 minutes warranty on Ross's though, was it?
To be fair though, the pump itself, when you actually put the pump inside a bucket of water and sat it in there, it was fine. It was the second you put the return tube on for that little tank. So I think the diameter of the tube's just been that perfect size to give you the resonance that's making it bounce all over the place. It's been a nightmare.
Well, the pump in the Max Nano, it kind of hovers, doesn't it, Paul? It doesn't actually touch the bottom. So I've always had to have filter floss around mine, kind of wrap it in filter floss, and and that stops the vibration, but also it polishes the water, obviously going back in.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it not to rattle on the sides, so I had to use filter floss just wrap around it, a small amount.
Yeah. So have you got a big sponge at the top?
No, I didn't use any of the sponges.
Right. So you get 2 sponges. You get a sponge above the filter sock. So I've got that in now.
Yeah.
And then you got a sponge on the far right-hand side below the ATO. And I've found by pushing that down in there, it's reduced the vibration because it's not a big sponge like that. It's kind of got a cut through the middle, and you wrap it round. So that has helped. I might have to try and push it down more, but the auto top off's a bit. Huh?
I don't know if I got 2 sponges. I think I only got 1. So I don't know if that was an.
So was it? So you got a sponge on either side? What side have you got a sponge on? Have you got a sponge?
I didn't use the sponges because I didn't know where to put them. It's in my cupboard. The sponge is in the cupboard.
To be fair, I don't use sponges on my reef tank before. I throw the sponges away because I find it tap the nitrate load, so I don't use them.
So yeah, but yours is by choice because you knew you didn't want to do it. I mean,
it's like here. It's brand new.
So basically, Jay, what other parts have you got that you didn't use?
Well, brand new. What's that one for then? That's too big to be in most of the chambers.
Has he got a cut? Is it?
No, it's just a solid piece of sponge. I think they must have changed it a little bit on your.
Yeah, because mine wraps around the return pump. And then have you got and did you get a small piece that sits on top of the filter sock?
No, I just got this one.
I
don't really know what that's for, and I can't see much use for it, so I thought just.
Would it go where you put the carbon?
What's that?
Would you put it where the carbon is?
I don't know. That's maybe where it was for, but I use the carbon.
I know. I mean, you polish your water to within an inch of its clearness, don't you?
Yeah, well, I'm heavy in and heavy out, Polish. That's how I like it.
And what about the tank?
I put a lot in the tank in terms of feeding, and yeah, I'm always skimming. I skim 24 hours a day, which I know is probably the wrong thing to do. I know a lot of people just turn it on at night for a little bit. But I skim all day long. I've got floss. I've got filter socks. I've got biomedia. What's all going on there? There's a lot of filtration.
You actually use it. If it wasn't salt water, you'd use it as drinking water. It's got more filtration to stop the drought in around the country.
There's a lot going on in the back of there. Let me tell you, for an animal.
Right, so let's go through the chat first of all, and then we'll come back to us and see how we're doing. Yeah, it's very tardy of me to forget. So who have we got? We've got AB Reefing. Good evening. Hi, Russell.
Hey, Russell.
Tony Close, UK Reef. Thanks, Tony. I think Tony has watched and commented on every one of my videos. So fair play. I couldn't sit through with him, so thank you.
I'll have to sit through him as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, but you haven't commented. He has. Thank you for that endorsement.
No, I love your channel, Paul.
Thank you. Cotty's Reef, Tekka's Reef.
Nice to see you.
Hiya, John. John Rowlands, good evening. UKM120.
UKM120.
Hi, Oliver. Hi, Christian.
Nice to see you, Christian.
Hi, Ian.
Hey, Ian's back from his holiday. Tonight, most of the drinking pina colada. Still on holiday.
Absolutely. You got an umbrella? Have you got an umbrella, though, Ian? That's the question.
I think pina colada.
Now the big question is his pina colada in an aquarium mug or is it in something else?
That's a good point. It should be in a mug, shouldn't it? Really?
I would say so.
I've heard the pina colada is the drink of choice in North Derbyshire at this time of year. I think that's what it is.
Is it very cultured?
It's very cultured up there. If you go to a pub, you can't get a pint. It's pina colada in North Derbyshire.
Okay, fair enough. Moving on. Hi, Darren. Welcome, Julian. And who else have we got? Hi, Howard. I won't ask about the loft hatch, but hi.
Genuinely works.
I know it does. UK Reef Bro. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Andy.
Good evening, Errol. Having a dive.
Good to see you, Errol.
Kung Fu Shrimp. Now, I don't think we've had the pleasure of Kung Fu Shrimp before because I remember that logo. That's a fantastic logo. And a fantastic name. So, welcome. Not that all the logos are not good because they are, and you can get logos elsewhere, but I like that one because it's the first time I've seen it.
And promoting shrimps because they are such a great creature in your tank as well.
They are.
They're fascinating to watch, aren't they? I think they're undervalued. They are.
Yeah.
I think every reef tank should have some sort of shrimp in there.
Everyone should have a peppermint shrimp, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, peppermint, yeah.
Demo.
Oh, hi, Damo. I love his aquascape, by the way. He's just started I think he's got one like yours, a water box.
Yeah.
Yes, he has. Yeah.
The water box or the Evo, I think he's got.
Is it the Evo?
I'm not sure. It might be the
Evo. I think it's really on point. It looks really good.
Hi, Rig Z. So you're going to say Rigsby.
I assume he was born in 1969.
Yeah.
Maybe.
MK Reefer. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, Ross again.
Hey. By the way, Ross, I haven't seen you for months, and it's great to see you, mate.
Well, we know that's not what you're really thinking. You're really thinking, oh no, what am I in for tonight? That's what you're really thinking.
Well, I did hear this a little bit on your other live stream that.
Yeah, we've got some making up to do for lost time, shall we say?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And AAC TV's in the house. So welcome, Paul. Yeah. So, Paul, if you've got a really good question for Jay, now's the time to ask, because he's our reefing expert, Paul. So throw a question in now.
Me?
And your name's Jay, isn't it?
When have you made this nonsense up?
I just thought of it.
Well, the other good thing about tonight is we'll be back to getting Jay's tip of the week at some point tonight as well. So.
Absolutely. We haven't had that we've had 2 weeks, 3 weeks without it.
I don't know. You've coped, to be honest.
Well, we haven't. So that's why we need a really good one.
Not asked for it in the chat either, but
I will now. So where are we? We've got Fluvo Evo.
Ah, there we go. Yeah. So it's a nice little setup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're nice little tanks. I think if I remember rightly, it was £70 for the whole setup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure it was.
So it can be done on a real budget. You got the whole kit for £70.
I know. That's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good. I'm thinking,
questions flying in for Jay.
I know.
But the sunbed's comfy. I think so. They're quite like I went to Croatia. It's quite bloody dear, to be honest. And I was paying at one of the places I went to, this Euro camp, and it was like £15 for two sun decks and a parasol for the day. So I just got my family just to sit on the rocky beach instead, because it's a bit cheaper. That's not a joke. Like £15, it's a lot of money into that.
I mean, if it was 15 quid a day and you went for 2 weeks, that's a lot of dough. That's a decent torch, isn't it?
That is what is it? It's 200 quid, isn't it? 300, nearly 250 quid.
Yeah,
so it's
14 days.
Torch, single head,
Yeah, 190.
Well, you've got to think about your money when you're in reefing, haven't you? You can't just be splashing out on sunbeds. Absolutely.
Right. So Paul's thinking about it. Jay, you looking like your SPS brand.
That didn't take long, did it? Really? Yeah. Well, it's coming on well. I've got a nice rainbow effect of brown now. It's coming on. Yeah. A couple of my SPS have been stung, so I've got a little bit of an issue now.
Oh, have they? What, by the torch?
Yeah. I've got 5 torches and a nano, and it's just not. It's not advisable, really, because they're getting bigger. And obviously, as the tentacles extend, you can't really have anything else anywhere near them. So I should have only had 3 in it. So if you're getting a nano, I think maximum maybe 3 torches. I went a bit torch mad at first in the first year. I got a lot of different variations, and I do like them, but I've got too many. How many you got in yours, Ross? I think you got about 2, haven't you? 2 or 3?
No, I lost 2, so I've now got 1, 2, 3 left. I did have 5. Yeah. I had 5 torches, a frogspur, and a hammer. I've now got 3 torches, a frogspur, and a hammer.
Yeah.
And I've got two frogspur in that tank as well, but they're just little cheap ones. And a torch in there, but a cheap one as well. So.
Yeah. I found it quite hard to find coals that torches don't sting. So the only ones I've found, and all the ones I've is one of Favia. So I've got a Christmas tree Favia, and it doesn't, well, it might sting it, but the Favia ignores it. Also, the candy cane I've got, that it goes all over that, and the candy cane has a fight back, and neither of them get damaged. And also, I find that Zoas, it don't seem to damage Zoas, but anything else that's managed to get in the way of a torch has come off worse. So there isn't many, but there are some. But then things like Favias are really stingy as well. They're quite aggressive.
I got so one of my torches is on the Zoas, and when it touches the Zoas, they close up. But then they come back out, so it's a bit like just a snail running over them. So they don't kill them. Also, the hammer, the branching hammer, that touches the torch, and that doesn't die either. But like you say,
really, well, the hammer doesn't get affected by the torch.
No, the branching hammer, no, it doesn't.
It's all right. Oh.
Yeah, it's fine next to the torch.
Because I've noticed torches against I've had a couple of hammers where they've stung them before. It probably depends on the hammer and the torch.
Yeah. Yeah, but they seem all right. But as soon as it goes near the Gonnies or the SPS, it just instantly die.
Yeah, absolutely. So no more questions for you, Jay. How did the tank go whilst you were away? Did you have someone come in and look after it? Because I was thinking of you when it was really hot, and I messaged you, and I thought I wish I hadn't to say what's the temperature. I know it did.
Right.
No. And you said it was 27 degrees, and I'm thinking, oh my God, he's going to be pacing up and down the pool, trying to say, get in there, go and put a fan on it, blah, blah, blah.
What the viewers don't understand is that we have a WhatsApp group alongside this. And basically, like all WhatsApp groups between blokes, it's just banter all the time, and you're winding up your mates. So whilst I'm on holiday, I always get little messages from various people in our live stream. You know, how's your tank doing? I hope it's not too hot. All this sort of stuff. Whilst I'm on holiday, trying to relax, and you're just planting seeds there to call a Cobra meeting or something, getting me all worried on my holiday.
Well, I was worried because it was 28, 30 degrees here, and I'm thinking, do I ask what the temperature is? I think I've got to ask him because he's going to know. Did you have the camera on it? Was you looking at the camera and seeing what was going on?
I thought, but in all honesty, because we had that 40-degree heat wave about a week before I went, I thought, right, we only usually get one heat wave in the UK. I'll be fine. As long as there isn't a heat wave whilst I'm away, plain sailing. Anyway, obviously in the second week there was that heat wave, wasn't there? I think it got to about 34, 35 outside, I think.
Yeah.
So my tank got to, I think it peaked whilst I was watching it about 20, I think it just touched 28 degrees whilst I was away. So it was getting close because I read that it's 28.8. And after that point, it then starts to become critical for life of corals, not so much fish, but corals. And I think you spoke about this on your live stream about just steadily bringing back down rather than kind of dropping it quickly. So it got up to 28 while my holiday. But I'm going to be honest now, right? I love this Selby to death, but it makes your holidays a bit less enjoyable because you're constantly thinking about your tank, aren't you?
Yeah.
So basically, it was on autopilot for 2 weeks, and I think it did really, really well. I had the auto feed, obviously lights are automated. The ATO, I changed it and had a huge, like 25-litre bucket.
Yeah.
I had that. I think you mentioned this, but I had a big room fan on a smart plug.
Oh, did you? I was joking. Did you actually do it?
No, I genuinely did. So I've got I got my smart plug here.
Yeah.
That's plugged into my fan. So when I watch, I've got my little Google Nest here. So I was sat on the beach, like nearly every day for hours watching my camera. Every time the temperature went up on the tank, obviously got the smart plug on, went on the app, put my fan on, which still blows my mind to this day that I can turn something on in my house when I'm in a different country. I just think that is brilliant technology. So the fan then came on, but that was quite helped it cool down. Came back, all algaed up as you'd expect. Loads. I had quite a lot of green air algae because it was feeding pellets all the time. Quite a high phosphate content and things, so it was just like fueling the algae. What else happened? A couple of torches stung some SPS, but generally it was good. I think because of the age of the tank, because it's like 2 years old, and it's got quite a lot of bacterias and microorganisms, and there's natural food sources in there already. Got the pellet going, and then my mother-in-law, she had to intervene just a couple of times because she was looking after our cat. She came in and fed some First Bite, the little packet First Bite Copepods.
The Copepods, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of soft food. She put that in, and she opened the doors and things like that, just to let ventilation in, which was that worked.
So it went well. Thank God. Your wife. What about if your Wi-Fi had gone down? That would have been it. You would have had a fit.
I would have been. But that's a good thing though, because I always knew the electricity was on. Because if the camera was working, the electrics are on, obviously, and then I can see. So that was another good thing.
So if the Wi-Fi is down, you're thinking, is it the Wi-Fi or there's something tripped all the electricity in the house, and therefore at least you get someone to go down. So it's quite a good early warning system, isn't it?
Yeah, because I don't have anything like GHL or anything like that. It's testing parameters. It's just the standard kit. But I think for a nano reef tank, just with a large ATO and an auto feeder, to go for 2 weeks without me touching it and actually come back and it looked probably healthier than when I left it. I think there's quite a reflective story there for me, really. It doesn't
stop messing around
me as much as I need it, and I should just sit and watch it more so than just tinker. But you know what it's like, you're in the hobby, like it's like an old car or a classic bike, you know, you got to tinker with it, haven't you? You gotta that's part of it. So I think it ran really well, and I think because the age of the tank, it helped as well.
Good. Excellent. Right, let's go for a few more questions.
It was stressful. Yeah. And I wouldn't have coped without the camera, because at least with the camera you can monitor it and you can see your fish are moving, you can see that the light's on and stuff. So that really did put my mind at ease. But yeah.
We'll come back to that. There's a couple of questions there in a minute. So £70 for tank light, wavemaker lids, scraper and thermometer. So that's a bargain. Don't like the light of the wavemaker. So I'm assuming is the light the standard light? And I don't know if it comes with a wavemaker. So what light is it you don't like in the wavemaker demo?
Yeah.
I think you've got the standard light, because they did not mention last week about the fact that we were going to get
the lid and the heat,
and so on.
Yeah.
So I think it's the standard light you've got.
Yeah, I think you're right. Comment there, 50 Shades of Brown. Okay, so went with the AI Prime for the light and a Nero 3. So Nero 3s I think are really good. Be quite powerful though for an Evo, but I suppose you can turn it down, can't you?
I think that's good advice there. I would definitely upgrade.
Time for an upgrade, Jay. You're saving up, aren't you, if you upgrade?
Yeah, I'm saving, and also I'm kind of sitting on what's happening with I know this is the reefing chat, but I want to see what's happening with the mortgage rates and what's going to happen to electricity and stuff like that. I don't want to buy loads of new expensive stuff and then find out that, you know, my mortgage is going to go through the roof, electricity, which is what it looks like. So I'm just sitting on it at the moment. I don't like debt. I don't like, you know, getting into debt for things. So well, we'll come back in a minute, because it's interesting to ask the question about what could you cut out on your tank. Right, answer what could you on the small tank? Now I've got a small tank. I can talk about what would we cut out on our tanks and still run it. So what's a luxury item in the tank that we could, if we have got any, that we could cut out? It could be that we all run it really slim, or you can cut out, so therefore you could cut your bills, cut your costs and stuff like that on people. We'll come back to that in a minute, because see how many plugs. I always think, how many plugs can you run on the tank? Didn't we, in the WhatsApp earlier
that's
today?
Right. Yeah, that's what I just remembered. So we'll come back to a minute. Like how many
still function?
Yeah. So we'll come back to that in a minute. So I'll be upgrading when funds allow, which makes sense. Exactly what you're saying there. Question: did the holidays have issues? So Steve, Jay, you just said about yours. I think Steve said when he come back, tank looked horrible, but we haven't spoke to him, have we, properly, to say, well, does that mean he just had loads of algae on the glass, which we all get, or was it something more? I don't think he's had a problem, because I think he would have called it out in the group, but
I think you might just mean dirty. I mean, it does get very dirty, doesn't it? That's
the glass does over. You know, if you're away for 2 weeks, you can hardly see in, can you? I imagine.
And my skate was dirty as well, because I had to manually remove algae.
Yeah.
And then I had to blast off. You know, when you do your little routine blasting off the rocks and stuff. And even though I've cleaned the water out as well, I've done a water change, it still looks a bit grubby than it normally does. But it'll get there.
Take a bit of time. Right, here's the first question. There we go. After Jay spent some time working in the industry at Signature, what would he say is the single most important thing you learned with regards to livestock? Oh, that's a good question.
Oh, that is a good question. You know, I've got the utmost respect for anybody who works in this industry, because it is hard work. It's harder work than teaching, so I wouldn't want to do it full time. It's a difficult job, and you know, you also appreciate why the cost of things are the way they are, because of the amount of time put into growing each animal or coral or creature. Single most important thing you've learned with regards to livestock, I would say probably just do your water changes. I know a lot of people don't, but I know Signature Frags, he does. He's quite religious with the water changes. And I think just going back to that basic thing, which doesn't cost a lot of money, just do your 10% water changes. keeps things healthy, and gives them all the vital building blocks that they need each week. I know
Did you
sound very radical, but I think we can all just take from that, really. And
did you know?
Testing your alkalinity? That's another one. He tests alkalinity every day, which I don't, but he does. Obviously,
Well, you need to, don't you? I think they do at AAC. Paul, I think you guys do checks on the tanks every day, don't you?
Yeah.
Parameters. So just one thing. So Christian, if you're still on, what was the single most important thing you learned about Jay?
Oh my gosh, this is like
we're coming. I'm sure we'll comment in a minute.
We had such fun, and I know Christian works there predominantly on his own, and it must be quite nice, quite relaxing, but also quite a lonely place to work.
Yeah.
When he works on his own. So we had such a laugh. We went out for dinner at lunchtime and stuff like that. But it's a lot of work. There's a lot of work to do, and it's not easy.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Newfound respect for anybody who works in it.
Absolutely. I'm going to come back to the comments in a minute, but Paul's just said about basics are key, and 4 times
a good question.
A day. Did you notice the different care that's taken of maybe different fish or different types of coral based on their, I suppose, the way they are, SPS versus softies or wrasse compared to maybe tangs? Just see what I mean?
Not so much for the fish, because a lot of the fish were living in the coral beds.
Right.
So they kind of were treated the same. Obviously, they were, because fish poo is probably the best food for coral. That's another thing that I kind of learned. So just feed your fish up; they'll feed your corals up. Because he's got quite a lot of utilitarian fish in there. Picking at stuff and obviously adding a lot of bioload in there as well with fish poo. So that was quite nice. But with coral, I think from when they enter the farm and they go through all the processes, depending if they're softies or LPS or SPS, they tend to go on a different type of journey. But it often ends with kind of increasing the light at the end. Once they've got them healthy, pest-free, into a good position, then he always tries to then increase the light intensity, which then adds the colour at the end. You know what I mean? It's part of the coloration at the end. So a lot of especially his SPS, have a lot of colour. But I didn't realise that each coral, I thought they came in and then they had them for like a week or two and then they're going back out again. Whereas when I was there was nothing leaving the farm in less than 6 months.
Yeah.
It was there. It was in quarantine. The corals were treated. Then they're put into like hospital tanks. Then they're put into. They all go through the same process, and then they end up in the display tanks where then they get kind of an intense light, color them up. So I was surprised how long corals were actually in the farm for. And that was quite an interesting thing. But I'd love to do work experience at different places. I really enjoyed it. A lot of it helped me in terms of because I'd never fragged anything in my life. I've not fragged corals, and I was doing 50 to 100 frags in an hour. Fragging different pieces, and I feel quite confident if I was to frag something in my own tank. So. It was brilliant learning experience, and we had good fun as well. It was a good laugh.
Good. Let's just go through some of the comments and we'll come back to the question. So, all touch-off and temp control were the first on the priority list. So, Jay, do you want to answer this? How do you set up a webcam and watch it from abroad?
Yeah. So I've got mine's a Google Nest indoor camera. So it's Google Nest indoor. And then I have a little Google Home Hub, which I think is about £40. Once you've got the Home Hub and the Nest camera, you can then connect it to your kind of network there. So I've got like aquarium camera.
Yeah.
It says Jay's Real Reef, and then I click on it, and then it'll bring up my little. There you go. Look, brings up my camera. And it's also got night, so you can zoom in as well. So you can zoom into the camera wherever you are and stuff like that. I moved my D&D controller is normally up here.
Yeah.
Above the tank. But then when I was on holiday, there you go, you can see it there. This is weird now. So I had to move it in front of the tank so it was in the camera shot. And every time I looked at the temperature, I could then decide if I wanted to put the fans on and stuff like that. So yeah, it's got night vision as well, which is good. You can see all the activity.
Night vision.
More activity at night with the snails and stuff. The red lights come on. So what are you laughing at?
It's just, I don't know, Jace. I don't know if it's the way you tell them or what. It just tickled me. I don't know why. And Ross was laughing as well. So not just me.
I've just got visions of Jay sitting there with the goggles, the night vision goggles on that you get down.
The picture at night is just as clear as the day with it as well. But it wasn't. You must be able to get cheaper versions, but I think it was about £100 for this one. But I don't know how people. If you're away for a couple. I've never been away and not been watching it and looking at it at various different times. It's just. I know people say. What happens if you switch it on and your lights aren't on and your flow's gone, but at least you know then, and then you could maybe phone up a neighbour or ring up a family member if they've got a key and just say come round or what. It helps you know that things are okay because vast majority of the time they are, aren't they?
I'm just thinking we'd have a Cobra meeting. We go, right, who's going? Who's going from Scotland or Manchester for Essex? Who's going to have the short straw to drive up to Jay's? And then you get up there and realise you can't get in.
Well,
no key.
I think I'm the only one with a camera. None of you have got cameras.
I don't have one.
No, I don't. Usually when I go away, there's usually someone here. One of the boys comes in or something like that. So if I was away and there was no one around, I mean, I've been away for 7-10 days before and no one looked at the tank and I just left it and I had some backups and everything else. But it is, something could happen.
Yeah.
And you don't know about it. I mean, I've had a situation where someone phoned me and they said, Paul, can you actually go round to the house? Because I'm away and I've seen the camera and I went down and their heater had stopped and the temperature had gone down to 19 degrees.
Wow.
So I went round, I didn't know what the problem was. So I took loads of buckets of salt water and RO and loads of spare kit. And so it saved the tank. He didn't lose anything in the end. So, I'd said I'd help him out. To be fair, I was on call. If there was a problem, I'd go around there. So I did have a key in that. So I don't mind, people locally. To me, I have helped a few people in terms of tank sitting without going around. I haven't got a problem going in there every day and stuff like that. I would for some people, but on an emergency, I've done it for a few people, to be fair.
I think as well, we need to give our reef tanks a bit more credit about how resilient they actually are, because they can take quite a lot of change and things like that, or failure, as it were, and still come out surviving. It takes something quite major, I feel, to wipe it out, like a heater stuck on or something like that.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. So Ross, you've got a couple of things that you can use on your app, can't you? You're obviously not a camera, but your temperature control. I know you were talking about it before, but I must admit, it seems like a good step up from the DD controller that we've all had and we all use and we all love. So is it the Inkbird, isn't it?
Yeah, so I've got the Inkbird. I think I'm looking for the box. I don't know where the box is.
On the shelf.
6. It's not on the shelf.
It's surely on the shelf. It definitely
hang on, let me look. No, can't see it up there. So I think it's the 306 Wi-Fi one. I can't remember the exact model of it. So I've got one solely running on its own on the new tank, and I've got one running alongside the DD one on that tank, purely just to see how the two of them compare. They've both been identical for months now, to be fair. When one goes up, the other one goes up, they seem to follow perfectly with each other. And it's really good that you can just go into the app, you can see what the temperature is. So wherever you are, you wouldn't need to log into your camera, you can have that, and it just pings a message to your phone to say your temperature's high. You can set alarms, you can set warnings, you can set whatever you want. And it's just that extra peace of mind that you're not having to look at. I mean, I've kind of took almost a hands-off approach now, where even with the new tank, so the ATO chamber, and that's quite small, and I only get about 3 to 4 days before I have to top that back up again. Now, I forget that, so I've got a level sensor in there that sends a message to my phone, which then tells me that the water level's low, so I can then go and top that back up. So, you know, I've got the temperature alerts, I've got the water alert for that. So it's not so much that it's doing anything for you, it's just letting you know you need to do something about it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And what you kind of said there with the smart plugs, I mean, that 306 Wi-Fi one, I think UK 120 said it's the ITC 306A, which is the Wi-Fi one. So he's put that there. But yeah, with that one, you could literally plug that in, and if you get a notification on your phone, then just hit the smart plug and switch the fan on. So, you know, there is ways. It doesn't directly have, so that's the only downside that I've seen from it. It doesn't have the same, you know, in the DD one where it's got a heating and a cooling plug.
Yeah.
That only has 2 slots for 2 heaters, and it's got the dual redundancy with the probes as well. So it's got 2 probes that measure in case one fails, the other one will keep going. So yeah, that's really the kind of big plus of it, I suppose. I think we touched on this last time, but Ingbirds seem to be really, really big in America, and they haven't really branched out over here yet. So I think we're just waiting to see what happens with them. But so far, touchwood, I've been really impressed with them, to be fair. Yeah,
Russell, I mean, I'm going to come back to the comments above, so I'm just kind of going backwards and forwards, but had 2 Inkbirds fail recently, says Russell.
Was it just broken completely or stuck on, or what's happened to it?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll come back to the comment in a minute. So, where are we? Right, so we're coming back up. So demo, so light is a Nicru Hyper Reef 30, maximum par 50 and no timer, tunnel wave maker. So yeah, it sounds quite.
I think.
I know, no, it was Tunzi, not tunnel. I was thinking, what's the tunnel? Yeah. So I like Tunzi wave makers. I must admit, I've got 2, one in each of the tanks in the garage, and I do like a Tunzi.
They're very reliable. They're not going to win any beauty contests. I mean, they look god horrible, to be fair, but they're very reliable and they're very good at even when I haven't cleaned mine for 2 years nearly, and it was still powerful. You know what I mean? So
but if you clean it, you will notice a big difference. In fact, probably if you cleaned it, it'll probably blow your corals off their plugs.
That was one of my videos quite recently. I cleaned it after you all told me on the air to use citric acid.
No, that was your return pump, wasn't it? I thought it was your return pump.
I did a lot. I did the 2 wave makers. I did the skimmer one, and I did my return pump. Yeah.
Coming back to saving wave pumps, just upgrade the return pump saver there. Yeah, fair point.
Yeah. I think he's saved enough money on the whole setup, so I think maybe just to spend a few pounds on a couple of upgrades.
Yeah. Annie Runda, welcome from India. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Because India, what are you, 7-8 hours ahead of us? Or maybe 5, but you're a few hours ahead of us.
Yeah,
so thank you for.
Morning. They must be on the whiskey like Ross.
Yeah. How is your floating nano reefs? I'm assuming that's mine. So that's the 170 you're referring to. So yeah, it's really, really good. I've just done another video, but I'm waiting for my son to come back from holiday because he does the thumbnails. He does a thumbnail in about 10 minutes, whereas me, it would take about 10 hours. So that's the reason. So hopefully that'll be up next weekend. That's a video of it being 18 months old. So yeah, it's going well. I mean, I do very little to it. That's probably why it's thriving. Although the sand bed is now covered in coral, because when I closed the 450 down, I've still got a load of coral in there. So that's a bit of a pain. I'll get there.
Makes you look like a marvel, doesn't it, on your video thumbnails? You're like some sort of...
I mean, he does really good. I just take the pictures and he just puts it all together, and they're done in 10 minutes. It's just brilliant. But that's what he does. Well, he doesn't do that for a living. He does videography for a living. So that helps.
That's good to know.
How to wear a hairnet correctly.
Cheers, mate.
I like it.
I thought the hairnet had gone. I thought I got more of a natural hairline now.
Yeah, not
really, no.
It's still got that little line across it, isn't it?
Yeah, there is. Yeah. No, that makes it worse.
That's definitely worse, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, you should have just left it. Quit while you was just behind.
All right.
Now you're looking like you're doing a Bobby Charlton comb over. Like that. Sorry, if you just joined us, working to hair today with
we're just discussing my hairline, which. There you go.
Yeah, we blame UK Reef Bro for that one.
Really. So as long as my corals grow, I'm not bothered about my hair anymore.
That's fair enough. And a temperature controller fan on holiday was showing very hot, so turned the fan on when it was actually cold, and the fan was making it worse. Oh dear.
Ah. So that sounds like the probe or something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Single most important thing about Jay, he was a star, and it was a great laugh. Nice to work with him. Somebody picked everything up.
The guy. Christian's the guy who came up with the bloody hairnet comment.
But he's redeemed himself there, though, hasn't he? I mean, you don't get that many nice comments on it, Jay. But I mean, that is good. Shall we stop while you?
Let me read it.
Put your finger along the line.
No, where's my ruler?
Right, I'll move on when you've finished, because I know you can't talk and read.
Oh, that's nice of him. See, I'm a quick learner. That's what that says.
Good.
Cheers.
Right. So Ross, how's the tanks? Obviously, there's a question there about the Pico.
How's the Pico?
And as you're the last man standing, well, you're the last man standing because mine is still gathering dust, and Jay got too hot. So how's it going?
Honest answer. Doing pretty well, to be fair.
Get out of it! How is it going well? I've had 2 heat waves.
And I'll be perfectly honest with you, I haven't even touched it. Let me see if I can take this.
Let's have a look at it. Let me see.
Let's have a look. Because I haven't seen the water box.
Anything could look good from this distance.
Let me see if I can actually join on my phone as well.
Oh, here we go. A bit of technology.
Yeah, a bit of tech.
Right.
I'm going to go back to there.
And cameras here.
Yeah, you'll have to turn the sound down as we get loads of feedback.
Yeah, I'm just going
because I want to see the water bottle, the small one, because I haven't seen that. It feels like for months upon months.
I'm excited to see this. I don't believe him, to be honest. That Pico is a nightmare because you can't stabilize the temperature.
Mine's just ran sweet as a nut, touch wood the whole time, no issues at all.
I don't see how. That Chinese temperature control that you told me to buy, that just didn't work. It was all over the shop.
Well, that's the one that I use, mate, and it's been good. Right, let's see if we can enter the studio with this.
Because his house is like a fridge all the time, it must be.
All right, we're there. Let's
go on. His house then.
Right.
Oh, and there we go. The camera's wearing glasses. That's brilliant.
Yeah, that's it.
So here is.
Right there. Oh my! You have actually got coral.
What's that frag at the front?
Mushrooms.
That's a mushroom.
The red mushroom from Mother Tank.
That's a mushroom.
Get in properly show you, but yeah.
And then you've got some GSP. Is that a Kenya tree?
Kenya tree. There's a couple of mushrooms down the very front there. It's not very good to be fair to see the angle of it, but I have just left that and haven't touched a single thing with it. I haven't done anything with it, and
you've done well there. To be fair. Yeah. Have you got any apart from snails? Have you got anything else in there?
No, just the one crab. That's all I've got in there.
No, not the famous one, is it?
No, it's in there. And I suppose the main one will be.
Oh,
that looks really nice.
Yeah, Ross. It does. It's done well with that, mate.
Really nice colours popping in there.
We're not being touched. I mean, the torches aren't looking great, I think, but it's doing not too bad.
Yeah, it's nice.
The GSP up on the wall there is going out mental. It's starting to grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's working well. Mine fell off him when I was on holiday. My GSP fell off the back wall and it set me back.
You can see it there, but just below the GSP, I've actually got some zoas growing on the wall as well.
I can see to the bottom left of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just started to grow on the wall by themselves. So I thought, I'll leave them there. Yeah, they seem to be doing quite happy, but when a couple of bits of GSP down the bottom that will grow up, and then really it's just all the zoas. I mean, the scrambled egg really popped recently. They've come on really well. You got
a nice mix of colours on there with the kind of pinky purple next to the scrambled eggs that makes them both pop.
Yeah, it's doing okay. Like I say, I haven't touched it at all. I haven't done anything.
Well,
done my water change and so on. Lost 2 torches from the top. The 2 cheap ones I lost them. But yeah, I mean, for not having done anything with it, it's looking all right, to be honest with you. So let's need to wait and see how it does. I did notice that Jay's favourite mushroom that was the Florida Recordia has actually sprouted a little tiny pop that's in that wee gap there.
Oh yeah.
So I've no idea how it's went from one side of the tank to the other, but it has. So it's in that wee gap.
I do love that Recordia actually.
They are nice, those orange ones. Yeah.
and I'll embarrass myself more than anything, but I haven't cleaned the glass on this tank for a long, long time.
Oh, we haven't seen this one. This is like an exclusive here. That's
So
what mine look like when we go back off holiday.
Well, I haven't cleaned the glass in a long time because I wanted to see how long I could leave this tank just to run on its own without actually doing anything to it.
Yeah.
So that's what I've done. As you can see, sand's got a little bit on it, nothing.
I know, but that's nothing, is it really?
So how old is that one now, Ross? That tank?
How old is it?
Yeah, how long's it been running?
Oh, when did I set that up again?
Is it May?
4 months? No, but what's that? 5 months? June, July, August, September. So that's actually only about 3.5, 4 months then, isn't it? So it's not that long.
Probably about that actually, yeah. But I haven't cleaned the glass in weeks, and I mean quite a long time actually. Just through more an experiment than anything, I wanted to see what it would be if I didn't touch anything. So
yeah,
I've literally just left that running its own, and it's doing not bad to be fair. I mean the glass is quite dirty as you can see there, but
the rock work still looks quite clean though. That's good.
The rock work's good actually. It's doing pretty well. I mean, I've got some cleanup crew in there that are doing quite a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's doing all right. Certainly not a showpiece just now, but I just wanted to see how it would be, with doing it. But yeah, it's coming on all right.
Sub 6 months, it looks really nice. I mean, most tanks look horrible in the first 6 months, don't they? Generally.
Frag out there with something that wasn't on it. They're doing really well actually. They've grown pretty quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it's doing all right. I love this light, by the way. This light is absolutely brilliant.
That's the flare, isn't it? Is it the flare?
The Pro Blue M I've got here.
Yeah.
And it is brilliant. Really, really good. Quite impressed with that. Again, I want to do a kind of longer term review on it, but I think it's doing its job for me anyway. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. But yeah, that's the dirty glass and people in the other tank. So everything's still going.
That nano is the.
That, I mean, it is really. I mean, I think your choice of colours are pretty good as well. That you've gone for oranges and the yellows and the greens, which are ones that really pop. Because you find if you get too much at a purple, it doesn't show up, does it? Even forget about the fact you put it on Instagram or on here. The purples and blues just don't show up very well in a reef tank that's a bit blue, do they? I don't think.
I've got some like purple mushrooms in that there, and they just kind of blend into the rockwork. You don't really see them. Whereas I've tried to go for more vibrant colours that will stand out against it all. So yeah, it's doing okay. Like I say, I haven't touched anything on it, so very, very hands off. I honestly haven't done anything to the tanks for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. So yeah, that's where we're at. Really.
Yeah, I've got to say, the tanks in the garage, I do very little with those. And I've got to say, the corals are growing so well. All I do is just dose, throw the feed in, the food in, clean the glass, and that is it. Very rarely do I do anything else to the tank. And I've got to say, both tanks are thriving through doing very little. So maybe there's a common theme there, isn't there? That actually little is best. And I know we just faff around. Sorry, Ross, you finished. I'll get you back. Yeah, I thought it looks really good. Really good.
Well, again, like I said, I haven't done anything to it, so that's been a long time that it hasn't been touched. So yeah,
I think it gets to that stage though. We said that it was like 14 months on ours, these nanos, and they just kind of hit the stride, don't they? They don't really need that much intervention.
Yeah,
it's people say it's a difficult hobby, it's challenging. That might put some people off, but once you get those first few months, which is a lot of just rigorous testing and just being very disciplined. When you get past that year mark, they hit the stride, don't they? And you can kind of what they need at what time, and it's to be able to leave it for 2 weeks, you leave yours for long periods as well, Ross.
Oh yeah, I leave
need anything. It shows that it's not that challenging once they get established.
And again, hands up, I haven't done any water testing for months now. Not a bit.
Oh, my neck.
And yeah, probably stupidity on my part, laziness, whatever you want to call it, but I haven't done any water testing. And I've just left them to run. I mean, even the new tank, I haven't done any testing on that. So things could be miles out, but they look okay. I mean, the torches in that one don't look fantastic just now, so there's probably something going on there.
Maybe magnesium.
I was about to say magnesium, maybe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm going to do a water change this weekend, probably do some testing and so on and see how things are doing. But it's one of those that if I start doing testing, then I start saying to myself, oh no, I need to change this, and I start chasing things, I upset the balance, it's one of it's a difficult one.
But you could just tweak it though, couldn't you? So say your magnesium's low, all you got to do is say, right, okay, I'll just maybe do a little bit more on my water changes. Might do an extra 5 litres here. That's how you're going to bring it up through water changes rather than dosing. You just say, right, I'll do do my usual. I'll just do 5 litres here, 5 litres there, which is one, not much hassle. And secondly, it's going to bring your parameters up a little bit without disturbing that much, is it?
Yeah.
With
torches, I don't dose anything at all. It's all just water.
Yeah, that's why I thought you do it via water changes, because I know you don't dose, which makes sense. If water changes alone does that for the tank, then there's no point in getting all the other stuff, is there? If you don't, if you don't need it.
Yeah, with torches, it's usually magnesium or salinity. That kind of upset them. Yeah, generally. But yeah, it's nice to see. I think it looks really nice.
I think that looks superb. Yeah, it really does. So well done, Ross. I think it's a credit to you, and actually just shows you if you leave it alone.
Yeah.
And then that's what will happen. And actually, you'd probably say in the first 12 months, if you leave it alone as well, it would. Because what you do, if you're throwing fish in, you're throwing coals in, we've said this before, that will start to disrupt. Because as you put your coals in, it adds more into it, doesn't it? In terms of, is it going to suck up more nitrates? Is it going to upset other coals? Because does it do something for the flow? It can disturb all those kind of things without you knowing. If people are adding things every week and every month, that's probably one of the reasons why we say that tanks don't stabilize in the first 12 months, because people are messing around with them as well.
Yeah, you had a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's one of the reasons why, another one of the reasons why I've left the new tank to kind of do its own thing, because I'm not overly precious about it looking fantastic from day one, because I know it's not going to. I've been through all that with this little tank, so I know I'm going to have ups and downs. So there's no point in me trying to get it to a standard where I think that looks amazing, then a week later it's back to being a nightmare again. So I'm happy to let this new one run, do its thing, mature as it's going to do, and then I'll start focus on building some more stock up and so on. But yeah, the little tank there, like you say, once you hit that sweet spot, it just seems to, it almost goes to autopilot and you can sit back. But again, that's a very, very simple setup there. I don't run a skimmer, I don't run any fancy stuff in there. There's filter floss and that's literally it. There's nothing else that I run in that tank that really is of any complication. So you could say, back to the other thing, that's almost as simple as I could go with that. The only thing that I would do if I had to would be to take the ATO off. But the ATO to me is probably one of the most essential things.
I think it's essential. Absolutely. So I wouldn't run it without it. Yeah, I think you're right.
The only thing that I could cut out of that tank is the ATO. But at that, you would be manually topping up and it would be all over the place. So to me, I think I run that tank as simple as I possibly can. I don't think I really could do much else on it.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. It's the same with this. I'm seriously thinking about not running the skimmer. I've had the skimmer on for one day and it's really noisy. I know it's got to be broken in and I've got to adjust it. But I'm wondering with the livestock I put in it, I may not run a skimmer. Yeah. Because I just wonder whether it's 100 litres, do I really need 100 litres, skimmer on that? I'm not convinced that at this stage. So in which case that'll be something else and it'd just be, and then the auto top off is a gravity fed. And at the moment, I've had to adjust it a couple of times, so I don't know exactly how long it lasts. So I'm going to top it up this weekend and then see how many days it actually lasts before I have to fill it up. But if I'm around, then I may not go with a proper ATO, but we'll see.
That skimmer will quieten down. It does. It starts off really noisy, but once it gets a bit of algae on it, like mine, it'll soon smoothen out. And
I'm undecided yet. I don't know. Is the answer?
I put mine on, obviously, because it gets rid of a bit of crud and stuff. But also it aerates the water, so pH is always higher, I feel, because of the aeration skimmer being on. I did notice when I was away, because I had to have the windows shut in case it got burgled. Yeah. When I came back, my pH wasn't as high as what it normally is.
Oh, really?
I've enjoyed having the window open again whilst I've been back. But I know the skimmer helps with that aeration and that gas exchange. Yeah. That's one of the main reasons why I run it. But it'd be interesting to see if you don't and see.
Well, what I do know is the pH is good on that tank because behind here there is little slots where the air comes in and I can feel it in the winter and that blows straight onto the tank because it really helps with the big tank. And obviously this is a smaller tank getting the same amount of air. So I know the pH is going to be fine. Now I did run a skimmer on that, so whether that had an effect or not, I don't know. I'm undecided at the moment. I'm going to run it exactly as easy. I mean that's cycling at the moment. So that there's a prawn in the bag.
I can't see it. Let me put my goggles on to see yours.
Oh, a minute.
How bright is it? Jesus.
That's glasses on. That's the sand. As you know, I've got the only way is basic sand.
Lights up sand there. It looks like yours lights up from the bottom.
Well, it does. So at the moment, the lights are only on for hit this because they're off and on. So I've got a bag you put carbon in, and that's what the prawn's in, because the prawn disintegrates, and actually when it disintegrates more, it starts to smell and it stinks out the house. So so that's not going to go down well. So once it's disintegrated, it'll be in the bag, and I can just take the bag out. So that's and actually it wasn't my idea. Someone said that to me on, I think it was on either one of the videos I run, or it was on Instagram about putting a bag in, because usually I've had them in the sump, and so therefore I don't notice it, but I have it in there. So it's only day 4 of the cycle. I need to test later on actually to see if I've got ammonia, but I haven't got ammonia yet. But the lights go off only the live stream. Do I stick the lights back on? So they'll be off for a few weeks yet before I do anything with it and see how it goes.
So have you seen the BRS TV biome cycling series where they've got these 12 tanks? Have you seen that?
So I've seen the first one, and what was really interesting, I've said this to you before, was a lot of the stuff in that I did on the 900 2 years ago. I'm not saying, so I was really pleased that there, things like the pieces of live rock in there, using copepods, having lights out for quite a while. Putting some other sand. I know I've done a mix of other things, and there's no perfect way. So I'm going to do a lot of that. And I've got your miracle mud there.
Yeah, you know what?
That's come through. So I'm going to wait until the cycle's done, and then I'm going to start using the miracle mud in there to put some diversity in there, because I know you say it works really well. So I'm going to try that to see if that helps.
That well on their experiment as well, using.
Yeah, that's why I thought I'd do it. And also, I haven't tried it on the other 2 tanks, but I'm going to try it on the other 2 tanks as well. So we'll see how we get on. So yeah, at the moment, it's really simple. It's just.
If you want some mud, Ross, send me your address and I'll send you some mud.
Sounds like a really great offer, that, mate.
Yeah.
Some mud. He's got loads in the garden, and he actually. Do you know what? There's some stones in there. I reckon he's got it out of his back garden. I think he's done me like a kipper.
I had to move
me pansies out of the hanging basket. So that's why I just put that in that cup.
So I've got the dirt from your pansies, have I? Thank you for that.
No, it's genuine stuff. So what it was, Ross, I wanted to buy some more mud, but I could only buy it in massive buckets, basically.
Okay.
I've got loads.
Nice. I'll give you a shout then, mate, and we'll try some of that.
Good stuff, mate. You'll like it.
Right, let me just go through some questions.
Yeah, I think we've missed it. Oh, by the way, Haley says you sound a bit muffled. I think you do as well, Ross, for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, you sound like, when you talk to someone who's on upstairs.
Yeah.
He's upstairs.
I am upstairs, yeah, that's the point.
All right, I mean, no, like when you're down, like me and my wife always have an argument. We start having conversations and we're on like different floors of the house. And
upstairs, downstairs.
Yeah, neither of us want to go up, to speak to each other directly. So we just shout.
Yeah.
Go, can't hear you.
An insight into Jay's life.
That's my marriage. That's an insight to my marriage.
Could be my earphones running out of battery a little bit. Maybe I'm not sure.
That's better, Ross. You're closer to the mic. Yeah.
I think it's because you're too far from your mic.
My mic's in my ear. That is my mic.
Oh. What happened to the one which was under your beard? That was ace, that one.
It's kicking about here somewhere.
It's around somewhere.
I like that one. Yeah. That was my favourite one.
But that's quite a bit of hassle though, because you've got to plug in the receiver. So that's the receiver for it, which you plug into the camera.
Oh, that's a decent one, isn't it? It's a Rode one. Yeah.
I've got the Rode Wireless Go one, which is just really good, to be fair. So that sits on the camera, and then the other one I tuck underneath my beard. But that's. So
you use that for when you film then?
I do that for my video. Well, I say I do that for my videos. I do that when I used to make videos. I know I slagged Jay off enough for that, so I'll take the slagging for that one now. So.
I've had 2 since you've last had yours out. I think.
I don't know where the other one of that is. But so that was that. But that mic's very, very good, to be fair. But again, it's another thing to charge up and get ready and so on. So I usually just go with the earbuds in. So apologies if it sounded muffled. I'll try and get that sorted for next time.
Right. So we're just going to whiz through some comments because I am half an hour behind, which is probably quite good for me.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, quick question, guys. Can you recommend somewhere you get some good copepods?
Did
There
Reef
is
Phyto do that?
Yeah, Reef Phyto. They're not the cheapest, but I've used Reef Phyto before, and I found they're good quality. The bag you get, there's loads of copepods in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you. I mean, I get some from local fish store if I need some.
Yeah.
But it depends on how good your store is. Or you could buy some of them from Reef Phyto, get some of their kit, and then culture some of your own.
Yeah.
You could do that. That would be cheaper long term to do that. Right, let's just go through.
They're all sold out as well, obviously, because it's holiday season.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to seed their tanks with copepods because it's just a natural food source.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I went into my usual source. It's like, no, they've all sold out. And I went 2 or 3 times and they just kept selling out. So, yeah.
Jay, whatever happened to the, what was it, the blood shrimp or brine shrimp or what was it you got? Remember you got something? Daphnia. It was Daphnia, was it not? No, you got Daphnia.
Daphnia, yeah, I had Daphnia. I don't know what happened to them, mate. I assumed that they all died straight away, unfortunately. I don't know. Because I didn't know they were fresh water, did I?
That's right, I remember.
I put them in. The fish ate them still. You know, they're adaptable.
They worked then, yeah.
Yeah.
They're adaptable, but I don't know. I guess they just caused an ammonia spike because they all died and just floated around a bit.
There's a great comment there from Andy's Reef, Jay, especially for you.
It's like married life is weird, especially if married to me, because like she'll be like enjoying the holiday and have it like she'll be, I don't know, she'll be on I posted this on my Instagram. She'll be like doing an Instagram about the holiday, and I'm just sat there just worried about my reef tank and thinking, what's the bloody temperature? Because it was like 35 degrees in England. Just it's different lives we lead.
It's not good, is it? Don't go away, Jay. You'd be happier at home, and your wife might be happier with you at home as well.
Well, you know how married life is. You're both different, aren't you? And that's why it works. But what she's loving and I'm loving are completely different things. I'm sat there listening to the live stream, you two having a chat on the lounger, and she'll be reading a decent book or something, aren't they? Very different people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it gets Ian. I was away for a week, heat wave with fingers crossed, just lowered the lights and auto feeder come back. No algae and glass. Tank looking great. Well done. Sounds good.
Yeah, it did. One of the things I had to get my mother-in-law to do, actually, I had to get her to turn the light off when it was, you know, those 2 really hot days.
Yeah.
I said to she's like in her mid-70s, so she's like, oh my God, what am I doing? But I said, can you go in the cupboard and just turn off the one that says light, and the blue light will go off. So went off, which is brilliant. But yeah, I had to turn the light off for 2 days. It doesn't affect your tank at all, does it really? No,
because I said to you when I was away, my light broke on the Tuesday. I came home on a Saturday and everything was okay. One of the SPS went a little bit brown, but that's fine now. So actually 4 days or 4 days more or less, the light went and it was fine. As I said before, if the flow had gone for 4 days, that would have been it. Wipeout would not have worked at all. But my mum used to look after the big tank when I first had it for a couple of years. In the end, I said, don't come around. She used to get so stressed coming around and doing and feeding it and things like that. Oh my God, am I going to do something wrong? Like, in the end, I said, don't do it. Because she was so stressed doing it. I just thought it wasn't worth the hassle of worrying her in the end.
You've got to give them that reassurance as well. Like, you've gone away on holiday. It's you take the risk, basically.
Yeah.
You know, if anything happens, it's my fault, not yours. But they feel that it's theirs, don't they? That's the thing.
Yeah.
They feel that they're responsible for it, which is
absolutely. Let's move on. Hi, Hayley. So my radiant on the water box failed last night. Error says low voltage shut down. I can't. Blah, blah, blah. So I don't know if there's any more comments on there. Exodus and the Ecotech are pretty good. They help in trying to solve things. So I don't know what you've tried to do on that side, but the service is pretty good.
Facebook pages are not for that. That's with help. That's like an Ecotech Facebook group or something.
I don't know. I think you go on their website and you can raise a ticket, and that goes to America. The problem I had. So it'd be interesting to see how you get on. Right, let's see some other comments. I just had nitrates go and found my timer. My Cheeto light was broken, so I haven't been switching on. So put it on 24 hours a day for a few days. Yeah, I run my Cheeto for 24 hours a day, and it works quite well. Let's have a look. Thank you, Oliver, for buying a couple of tickets. They're looking, yeah, so am I. So what have we done now? So we've sold 80% of the tickets have sold.
Wow.
So I'm actually quite pleased because there's quite a few people that are away that I know, so they can't come, and a lot of people are off at the moment. So with 80% sold, and we've got it's 4 weeks. It's 4 weeks tomorrow. So I'm hoping with 4 weeks to go that it will sell out. And actually, I know you're coming down, Jane. I know you might be down as well, Ross. So long, if people have got to travel, the 12 quid is nothing compared to then how much petrol you got to pay. So there's a few people coming from the far afield. So I really appreciate everyone who's bought a ticket, especially if you've got to travel a distance. So thanks, Oliver. Yeah, looking forward to it. Do you know what? It's more stressful than I thought. I've got to say, organising an event. I don't know why I said I don't know why I came up with the idea, because one, I'm not doing as much on reef tanks or anything else. Just I've got a whole list of things I need to organise, a whole list of things I need to do. Like we got to do a frag swap, which I thought would be easy. Most of the people have bought the tickets from Instagram, but to actually run a frag swap, the best place to do it is Facebook, because you can keep all the thread separate. But then a lot of people I know don't have Facebook, so I'm sitting there thinking, how am I going to get this done? Because I've got people who want to do the frag swap. So I've got to find a way of doing a frag swap. So apologies if you bought a ticket and I haven't sorted out the frag swap yet.
The Pico community.
That's downloading a different app altogether. So I'm not. Yeah, it's a good one, but I'm not going to go down that route.
WhatsApp. Everybody uses WhatsApp, don't
they? I could do that, and I can just keep the thread purely for that.
Problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
So I've got to sort that out. So. Most of the giveaway prizes have been arranged. I've got something coming from Vincent, who's he's Triton, so I've got some Triton elements, so he's going to send some of those. That's something else for the giveaway as well.
Nice.
So there's a couple of bits and pieces.
I can't wait.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm really dreading it. I'll be all right when I'm there, but I just know how much stuff I've still got to do. But it's 4 weeks, so it'll be fine.
And because it's the first one as well, it's not gonna be perfect, is it? Everybody's, you can always find things that you can. But it'd be brilliant. You've got everybody there. Got some great traders coming. The talks. I can't wait for the talks.
They should be good. I'm hoping the Q&A will be like the live stream, but people in the room. And then hopefully get some, I'll be comparing, and then you got Paul and you got Jez from Exodus, and I'm hoping there'll be some really, really good, feisty conversations and questions, and hopefully
have you got any security members there?
If you come, Ross, you will be.
No,
no. So I'm just hoping it'll be
Haley there. Haley's gonna be. She's the admin now. I can notice she's got promoted to the spanner on here. So
she's still got the spanner. Yeah. So Haley helped me.
Yeah, Haley needs to be there as the.
Yeah, she could be. She could be the caller, as they call them back in the day. So yeah. So I'm hoping it'll be a bit like a live stream, but everyone's in the room, and then people are. Hopefully, Jay, not throwing abuse at you like they do in the comments, because that would just be rude, wouldn't it?
I don't mind.
Was it?
Whatever. It's all good-hearted fun, isn't it? That's why we do it on a Friday.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about that live scaping idea? Is that going to be?
Not then, but that's something for the future that we, let it out of the bag. Thanks for that, Jay. So if we, do you know what? If you want something to go out, tell Jay. If you want to keep it a secret, don't tell Jay. So potentially, I was thinking, not for this one because there's not enough room, is doing a kind of a scape off. And what I was thinking is, if we do a scape off, there'll be Jay, there'll be Steve, and there'll be Ross doing a scape off, and then there'll be the three of you, and then we'll get someone else, and maybe do 4 people doing it. So I don't know. So that's an idea for the future.
The anger and rage I had trying to build the scape in this one. So a live scape off might not be the best idea for me.
That would be genius,
wouldn't it? That.
You would need to put one of those like perspex screens in front of me to stop me from throwing rocks at people.
It's like you'd have to do it in like the program, the cube. So you'll be standing there going, Ross, you have got 11 attempts to do.
I know. No, I can't do okay.
I saw it actually being done. Was it Reefapalooza in America? One of those big shows in America. They did it. It's a great thing.
They do it quite often in freshwater, don't they?
They do.
More so, maybe because they have more shows. And George Farmer does a lot on his channel. When he goes to a lot of shows, they do a lot of live scaping and scape offs and stuff like that. But so that's not for this one because I just don't have enough room. And to be fair, organising 4 tanks and all of the rock and everything else I didn't want to do it for this one, to be fair. So this is like I'd say this is an easier one. We'll see. And then after that, if I like it and I'm not too stressed and people like it, then there may be another one next year. But we'll cross that bridge. And if I do, then it'll be maybe a bit more on top. So we'll see. But one thing at a time, I will say, because who knows how this is going to turn out.
I think it's brilliant what you're doing. I think it's brilliant what you're doing for the hobby. We've not got anything like this in the UK, really. You know, we're getting a little reefing show together, and hopefully it grows. And
we'll see. But I mean, Ross, you reminded me it's the first time, so I'm not known in this. I haven't got anyone. You know, I haven't had a show before, so it's unknown, really, isn't it? So I'm not sure September was the right time to do it because a lot of people away in September. But hey, such is life. But as I say, sold 80% of the tickets. I'm sure they'll sell by the time we get to
10 tickets left. They should fly, surely.
So there's 10 tickets basically left. So we'll I think it's 10 tickets or something like that.
Ross got his yet? No,
because Ross is not too sure if he's coming down or not because he may have some other stuff on there work-wise. But thank you. And there's a few people in the chat that have bought tickets. So thank you very much for your support. And moving on, yes, Kim's coming with a couple of other people as well. Hey. So be great to meet you and Graham. Kim amongst other people. So what's this? My Pico is still going, or I've lost 2 of my sexy shrimp. It's the heat wave. The heat wave seems to be the thing that just canes that tank. It's very difficult, as you said, Jay, to control anything else. So there we go. I've got a hermit crab with a green mushroom growing on it. Anyone else had this?
That sounds pretty cool. I'd quite like one of those, to be honest. That sounds pretty good.
I used to have one with some pulsing xenia on its shoulder. Now that would be cool.
It's not that easier on it. I don't see it as a problem. I think it's quite nice.
Absolutely.
Carrying a coal around.
So Howard, watch your videos of DD900. You mentioned bubble algae using Vibrant. So in the earlier video I used Vibrant. Did it work? It was okay. I got to say, I then put an emerald crab in. And you hardly ever see the emerald crab. I've got 0 bubble algae in that tank now. On there, I've got a little bit around the weir, and I get a little bit of bubble algae around the wave makers. But in terms of the rockscape around there, there's 0 bubble algae, and that's because of the emerald crab. Now, you don't see it. I mean, I hardly ever see the emerald crab. And all of a sudden at night, if I was to go into the garage and the lights off about 11 or 12 o'clock, if I shine a light on the tank, there's a good chance I'll see the crab. So it's only around at night, but I've got I would say emerald crab. Personally, I think it's more reliable than Vibrant, and it's natural as well. So it took a while for it to clear it. It did nothing for about 2 or 3 months, and then all of a sudden it started clearing. So I would go for an emerald crab every day of the week. So Royal Exclusive Skimmers. I have never used one, but everyone I know's got one. Said they wouldn't go back. They're really good quality, which you expect for the cost, because they're £800 to £1,000 for a brand new one upwards, and they are deadly silent. Apparently, there is no sound from them as well, and also you get one that's smaller than you need because they're really, really efficient. One day I will have a Royal Exclusive skimmer, but not yet. But they're really good. So.
Like the Rolls Royce, aren't they?
They absolutely. So from everyone I've known who's had one said they're worth it.
Yeah.
And that's probably at least 6 or 7 people I know over time that's had one. Probably best to pick up a second-hand one because you see them from time to time on Ultimate Reef.
If you've got the money, go for it, probably.
Yeah. So anyone going to Aqua Fest? So I'm not. It's a bit too far. So that's this weekend, isn't it? So no, I'm not.
Where is that?
Oh, that's a good point. I don't know where that.
I think it's the one at Radical Reefs, is it not?
Yes, it's Radical Reefs. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know where's Radical Reefs. I don't know where they are.
Is it Leeds? I think that's Leeds.
I think it's Leeds
direction. I think it is. Somewhere. Yeah. It looks pretty good in terms of who's going. They've got quite a few manufacturers there as well. I think doing giveaways. There's all kind of things they're doing. So it sounds really good. So they're in September. Then I think there's a couple of events, LFS, that's Maidenhead Aquatics or Maidenhead Reef Keeper. There's one around Windsor that's the week before the event that I'm hosting. And then there's one they're doing in Rugby, which I think is October time. So there's a few that's knocking around that are hosted by LFS, and obviously I had Crackner, didn't we, last month?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to know when the Aqua Fest is. If it's in September, I'll try and go to that one as well.
Tomorrow, is it not?
Oh, is it tomorrow? I can't go. Well,
I think it's tomorrow anyway.
Yeah, I think it is tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow.
I'd like to have gone to that.
I'm sure it's the 20th, which must be tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's a one there about Recordia. So do you use the Yammer one? Have you had the Yammer or the Florida ones, Jay?
I had the Florida ones.
Yeah, because they're easy. The Yammer ones are known to, or have been known to melt.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Floridas are just, I can't keep them. You know, everybody's got a coral that you just can't keep no matter what. You know, no matter what happens. Mine tends to be, well, mine is Recordias. And I absolutely love them as well. Just love the texture of the bubbles and how bright they are as well.
Yeah. Right, so I'm just going down some. Thank you, Hayley. Yeah, if people could like, that would be much appreciated.
Thanks, Hayley. It's all good for YouTube.
Yeah, so Paul, I was thinking of getting some cupcakes. Maybe all proceeds can go to charity. Good idea. I'll speak to you, Darren. Because we've got, so some of you know the charity where they were setting up, or not setting up a charity, the money from the giveaway, so where people spend on the day, will go to Mind, which is the mental health charity. And I know we spoke about it, I think it was last week, around the connection between reefing and mental health and stuff like that. So it just seemed quite appropriate. And to be fair, it wasn't my idea. I think, Jay, it was your idea, I think, that we talked about on the WhatsApp group. And, you know, I was struggling to find a reefing charity that I could really buy into. I'm not saying they're not good, don't get me wrong, but I was looking at them thinking, I'm not too sure I could connect to them, just a personal view on that. And then when you said Mind, I was thinking, then I started speaking to some people, including Paul at AAC, and he was said about, you know, people over the years that he's known that have got into reefing, it's helped them mental health and stuff like that. And then I just thought, that sounds really, really good. And whilst you think, well, what's the connection? There's actually quite a strong connection. So Darren, I'll speak to you on Instagram. So go on, guys.
I think everybody in this chat, or almost everybody, has probably been through a difficult time where the reef tank has taken them somewhere else to, you know, to enjoy the hobby and just take them away from that upsetting time in their life or whatever. And I think that's why we suggested Mind, because there is a significant amount of well-being around just being part of the hobby, and it does cheer you up, it does relax you, it does make you feel happy, you know, watching your reef tank. And I think reef tanks, you know, we've all had, you know, things that happen, events in life, and the reef tank's been the escape, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting because they can be really relaxing. Other times they can be the most stressful thing in the world.
Right out the window.
Yeah, where's that bloody Aptasia come from? I killed it, and it's just popped out like whack-a-mole, or you got Sino or something like. So it's most of the time it's really relaxing, and other times you think, oh my god. I got to say, since I've been with you guys and we've been on the WhatsApp group and stuff like that, not only has it been relaxing, it's been more enjoyable with us talking, and I think also us doing the live stream as well, that this really helps and adds. Sorry, Jay, am I boring you? What are you looking at?
I've got about 50,000 flies on my roof.
He's maybe went and put a shelf up, Paul. That's what it is. He's got a shelf now too.
Have you got a shelf, Jay?
I haven't got a shelf. Are you talking about my stomach on holiday?
No.
Put on a bit of weight. Is that what you're on about? What are you on about?
No, we thought you had a shelf.
Oh! What you meant, like? What you meant, like? I put a bit of weight on my holidays then.
Yeah, you probably have to be fair.
I enjoyed myself.
Do you know what? I just messaged Ross actually to say I can't see Jay's tank because he's in the way. Whereas before the holiday we could.
You're gonna have to move your camera back a bit, Jay, so we can see it.
With we all go on holiday. You tend to eat well, don't you? And
well, you certainly have.
Ross, everybody knows the camera puts on a few pounds.
Something like
the
that.
camera does, and it's the person in front of it. I've got to say, Jay, we didn't say a word. Yeah, another goal that you scored, an own goal.
Sorry, I thought you were on about because I had to shut the window.
Jay, what's your pH? You've closed the window.
I know,
It's not only the moths that attracted the light. It seems that Jay is too. He's like, ooh.
I need to turn the lights off because.
Oh dear. Thank you, Darren.
Sorry, yeah, I think it's a great charity going back to that, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. Yeah, it is absolutely. So, hopefully, raise a few quid. And the good thing is, the company that I work for do pound for pound. So every pound we raise, I can get that doubled. And actually, there's someone else I know is helping his company do that as well. So I think, for example, if we did 300, I don't know if we can swing this. I could then get it doubled to 6. And then if he could double it, that could go to 12 or the other way around. So I'm hoping we can do it that way. I think I can certainly swing it in terms of doubling it. So whatever we raise, hopefully we can put quite a bit of more money on top by, but it's called pound per pound that we do at work. And there's this other guy that I know can as well. So I'm hoping we can raise a decent amount.
From the live stream can donate to that even if they're not going.
Yeah, great idea, Ross. I just need to think about it and how do I set it up?
I don't know how it would work.
No. So I don't know actually. Let me think about it. Maybe we can have a chat. Maybe you got some ideas, Ross, because my mind's going to blow with all the stuff I've got to do. And don't get me wrong, I'd love to do it.
I hope you've got the tea sorted out. That's what I'm bothered about.
The what?
You've got the tea and coffee sorted and.
Yeah.
That could be your job. You could be T-boy for the day.
Do you know what? He could be the trolley dolly. So we can get him a trolley. Imagine a trolley and an urn, and he goes round with his Yorkshire tea and his bickies.
He's got to be there with Yorkshire tea. That's what's happening.
All right,
you bring some Yorkshire tea.
That'll be my contribution.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that.
So you're bringing the Yorkshire tea, and I've got to think about how people can bring that. And it's a fair question, to be fair.
If I come down, I'll bring whiskey or something. That's what I'll do.
You won't be able to get it on the plane, though, will you? You won't. I know you put it in. You won't have a case where you've had hand luggage.
Buy it at duty free, mate. Just buy it at the duty free.
Oh, okay.
I bet he's got like with his business, he'll be able to just carry whiskey on him.
A loyalty card.
Do you have an exemption card? I can carry whiskey. I'm in the trade.
I've got an open carry policy where I can just walk on a holster on my belt and just on a go.
How many shots do you want with whiskey?
So that's where folks are like, excuse me, sir, you can't bring that in here. And I'm like, do you know who I am? I've got an open carry policy to drink this, so let me on the plane. If only, mate. If only. I wish.
Well, I hope you're there anyway. I'll keep my fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, mate. Yeah, it depends on work. I'm still waiting to figure out the exact ins and outs, but if I can, I'll be there.
Yeah. No, that'd be great. That's a fair point, Hayley, around nuts and dairy in terms of cupcakes. I think you have to kind of put the ingredients and stuff like that, which is fair enough. But thank you.
Kind of guarantee that. I think that's such a nice.
Yeah, that'd be great. So there's Paul. I've used Vibrant many times and it really does work. If a little too effectively, I found it lowers your phosphate, so you have to keep an eye. Fair comment.
I mean, I know there was a lot of script about Vibrant being terrible now, but I used it in that little tank and I had no issues whatsoever. I thought it was really good. So without opening that can of worms, I think it's a good product.
Yeah, I've used it. I found it all right. I just found a better alternative. So I've still got the bottle of Vibrant and I would use it. It just so happened that you can use it for other things, and I've used it from time to time. But I just found a natural way of getting rid of it. So for me, that was spot on. But yeah, the people I've known have not had a problem with it. So I know there was a big hoo-ha about it, and is it mis-selling and all stuff like that. I don't know. I haven't really got an opinion on that in a way. I don't care because I've used it and I'm all right about it. But there we go. Right.
I think if you can find a natural solution, always go for that.
Yeah.
If it's
like real reef mud.
Yeah.
Straight from his garden. Straight from his garden with pansies.
No. Genuinely from the Fiji mangroves.
I didn't want to say
they can't extract it because it's under protection. So there isn't much coming into the UK. So that's why I bought so much at that time.
So I don't know. I was just about to say, Ross, have you seen the small container of mud that Jay has got?
I don't know if I've got it at hand actually.
I haven't seen the small container he's got. No.
You haven't got it to hand, Jay. I'll line you up.
I don't know.
I'm going to guess it's going to be bigger than his tank, though.
Oh, it's here. It's here.
Is it? How can you miss it?
Because it's under all my towels, look.
It's like a comedy show. Whenever he touches, something happens, doesn't it? It's just, oh dear.
Don't tell me you haven't got a shed load of towels, because when you're not filming,
I have. They're in the garage though.
There's water everywhere. There's smears on the glass.
Smears on the glass. I must admit, I don't have water all over the place. But in the garage,
like a laundrette now. Look.
It's wishy-washy's laundry.
I have to have. You've got to have microfiber cloths. They're all nice and clean. They're all nice and clean, ready to buff their glass.
You can't beat a bit of buffing, can you, Jay?
No. Buffing. And you won't know what this is, will you, Paul? Here?
Let's not get on to that.
There we go. There you go, Ross.
Oh my God!
And how much do you use at any one time? What kind of size?
A pea-sized amount, and I use it every fortnight.
Do you know what I'm really looking forward to actually is seeing the tank that Jay's building up towards, because the sand he's bought, the rock he's bought, the mud he's now got, and everything. He must be building up to have a big tank ready for all this stuff. That's what he's going for.
I could run like an 800-gallon with all the stuff I've got, but I've just
super size.
The question is, Jay, are you going to be doing little deals on that? So will you be selling little bags of the mud to people and you know?
It sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it? That, but
yeah,
I suppose I could sell a bit, but I don't know if it goes off.
There you go. There's a comment from Kim, actually, the very last comment. I have to bring some mud with you, Jay, and I'll buy it from you. There you go. There's our first sale.
You don't have to buy it. You can have some. Just bring a little container. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say it goes off, but it does dry out. And I think once it's dried out, I don't think it's as effective.
I can imagine once it dries out, then all the goodness has evaporated and gone through it. But then if you keep it sealed, it should be okay, shouldn't it? Mine's sealed, isn't it?
Yeah, yours sealed, and I gave you really used it a bit as well. So with
sellotape.
Yeah, there's no expense spared with that.
I know. Okay, no, thank you. I'm going to use that, and I'll find a different container to put in, just so it all keeps together. Right. Okay. Brett helped my PTSD. Did reefing.
Oh, see, it does. It helps.
Absolutely.
Everyone.
I know a few people that it really helps them to chill.
It does.
Yeah, Haley, my tank kept me going during the later stage of my mum's Alzheimer's, and when she passed away, gave me focus. No, thanks for sharing on that, Haley.
Yeah. Oh.
It is. It's certainly. I find it really relaxing. If nothing else.
There isn't anybody who hasn't used it to help them get through something difficult. I'm almost certain of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great hobby. It's a great hobby.
Absolutely.
Before I get all emotional.
Cloth to hands. Oh dear. If it wasn't for the 7-hour drive or 5 hours on the train, I'd come down for the Saturday. No, I appreciate that. It's a long way for a lot of people. Well. So we'll see if we next year move it around. Maybe go somewhere else rather than where I am. But we'll see. Who knows?
What's the closest airport, Paul? Is it Stansted?
Stansted. So Stansted is about 20-minute drive from where it is, so it's not far.
Yeah.
So the Coral Kid, I'll come back on holiday on the 16th, hoping I can make it on the 17th if the tank hasn't crashed.
Oh, dear.
Believe me, oh dear.
10 days is nothing, you'll be fine.
Yeah, 10 days. Just make sure you got a big ATO.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the main thing.
Okay. I'll bring some blank name badges and some felt tips if you want, Paul.
That's a great idea, by the way.
I think absolutely, because there'll be people there that obviously I won't know, and there'll be a lot of people who don't know one another. So, yeah, that would be quite the idea. And also, it's kind of your name, or is it your Instagram name? Because quite often people recognise people from their Instagram name, not necessarily their real name. So you have to think about.
Well, it was like when we went to Kraken that first time. Remember when we all met up at Kraken? And you know, we know each other, and people that watch the stream know us. So people come up to you and go, "Hi Ross, how are you getting on? How's things?" And you're looking at them going, "I have no idea who you are, but yep, things are good. Yep, all fine." And then eventually say, "Sorry, I don't actually know who you are." And then they'll see their name, and you go, "Oh, right, okay, I know exactly." So the name badge is probably quite a good idea, to be fair.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah. And people can bring some stickers if they're a lot of people on Instagram. So if they've got stickers, bring stickers along and swaps. That saves sending through the post and stuff like that. But we've got to sort all that out. Hi, Carl. How's the tank going? So if you mean that one, it's going fine. It's cycling at the moment, so not a lot going on. I'll just leave it for a while and then put some fish in, and then soon after fish will go in, then corals are going, because that'll be probably about 8 to 10 weeks before I put fish in.
By the way, Carl, your tank is looking absolutely awesome. I do really like his peninsula. Looks awesome. Really
I mean, it looks full to the brim with coral as well, doesn't it? And also got some decent fish in there as well. And his videos always make me chuckle.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite. I think that's my favorite tank that he's done now. That I really like his current one.
Yeah,
his Max Nano was my favorite before that, which is one of the reasons why I bought this. But that peninsula, it looks awesome.
Yeah, I want to know when you're getting your peninsula, Joe.
Yeah, when I get some money. It's saving up. I just got back off holiday, so I'm about a bit skint at the moment, to be honest, mate.
Yeah. This one around, it's bad that I prefer a nano reef tank to a big tank.
Ooh,
Keep time with the idea of getting rid of the 350 and set up a nano gate. I must admit, I don't miss the 5-foot tank at all. Maybe because I've got some tanks. I've got a 3-foot and a 2-foot, and then obviously I've got this one. I mean, it's early days yet because I've got nothing in it and anything else. But I've got to say, at the moment, I'm preferring a smaller tank to a bigger tank.
Yeah,
I think you get the same enjoyment from the hobby, but it's less money, as far as I can see. The only, I mean, every coral you can put any coral pretty much in a nano. It's just you're restricted with fish. That's the only thing. And I've always wanted one of those copper band butterfly fish. It's actually my desktop wallpaper at the moment, and I'll never get one unless I get a much larger tank, obviously.
Yeah.
That's the only negative of a nano. I think the rest of it is the affordability. They just keep the maintenance is easier. You get the same buzz and the addiction, as it were, from having a nano you probably do from a larger tank.
Yeah.
So, I agree with what he's saying there. Yeah,
I must admit, I really enjoyed having the tank set up for nearly 7 years. Whether, I mean, I lost interest or not, I certainly the tank wasn't at its best in the last kind of 9-12 months, but then it felt like I was closing it down for 9-12 months. It felt like a long time. But I definitely enjoyed the smaller tanks. But yeah, I only got rid of it because I got so much stick and I was going away on holiday. That's probably the real reason. But I'm glad I got rid of it. It was. I mean, the cost, obviously, God knows how much I'm saving now because I haven't got the big tank. Because I had, how many plugs did I have in it? I had 2 Apex bars, electronic bars on it. So that's 12 plugs. They were full. Plus I had some other, but I think I had about 16 plugs on it. Now, it wasn't all running because there was like Apex on there and battery backup and stuff like that. But it's a lot of plugs. But then probably, I mean, a lot of other people have 10, 12, 14, 16 plugs. It's not hard to get that many plugs on a reef tank. When you think about it, it's a bit nuts. But it goes to the hobby, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Going back to that, what would you get rid of? Mine would be the doser. I think that's a bit of a luxury, really, for mine, rather than an essential. So that, you know, my 4 doser. I mean, I could dose things every day. Every day. Yeah. Just out of laziness. And I think that's what it is, isn't it? All these bits of kit just make it easier, so you spend less time. You could just manually dose or just do more water changes, I guess. But yeah, that's what, I mean, obviously what Ross does, don't you, Ross? You do the water changes. And I know Carl does manual dosing as well. I must admit, I'm not a lover of manual dosing only because I forget. So I like a doser just because, I mean, from an electricity point of view, it's hardly anything, isn't it? Because it's only obviously when it's running, and the rest of the time there's no juice on it. But for me, it's just so I don't forget to do things. So therefore, you get a consistency in what you're dosing. Yeah. So let's go down. I'm dead low watching Jay fold his laundry. I bet you wasn't expecting that, Hayley, but nor was we, to be fair. But you never know. Let's face it, we've had ironing boards. We've had Steve just with his head because he had a green screen. We've had all kinds of things over the time, haven't we? So who knows? We've had kind of wishy-washy with his laundry now. We've had hair nets. Someone do all the best bits of it. There's some funny bits along the way.
That'll take
some somebody had the time to go through and do that.
Yeah, or the inclination, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
the idea of it sounds great, but nobody's got time to do that.
maybe when I get another 6-week holiday, maybe I'll look at that.
God, it would take some time though to go through to do the editing of it. Russell Brooks, I'm working at Stents at the moment. What's the details of the Saturday event? And don't do Instagram. So Russell, it's on the 17th of September. Arrive at 10 o'clock, starts at 10:30, due to finish at 12:30, but could go on to 1 o'clock. If the Q&A works pretty well, then it will run longer. So there'll be a timeout probably about 1 o'clock from a Q&A, and then we've got a giveaway, so about 500 quid's worth of stuff to give away. People buy tickets, that kind of stuff. Now, if you're not on Instagram, Russell, do you want to, excuse me, I'll put in your comments, are you either Facebook or Ultimate Reef? I'm trying to think what else. If not, I'm not too sure because I need to speak to you, don't I? So, Russell, can you tell me if you do Facebook? Because then I can contact you on Facebook, or I can tell you where to look up on Facebook. So I'll look in the comments in a minute. Let's go down the comments. Save me a ticket for the Coral Kid, mate. Yeah, okay. We'll sort it out after, Cole. Thank you. And for my girlfriend, mate, she wants to come along. Okay, it's another 2 tickets. Yeah, okay, I will do. I'll sort it out with Cole. Thank you.
We should have a little counter on here. A little countdown counter.
He said it again. Is that 4 tickets now, Cole, or is it still 2 tickets? So I'm only joking. It's 2 tickets. There we go. Jay got a copper band in QT at the moment. An amazing fish, tricky to feed, but this one is going well. Wife has done some excellent teaching it to feed. Sounds good. I must admit, I would have loved a copper band in the 5 foot, but I never had the balls to get one because I just, if it had got it and it would have stopped feeding straight away and it died, I would have felt absolutely terrible. So that's the reason why I haven't. John, I love my copper band. Copper bands are those ones that everyone looks at and think, I would love that fish, and only some people are brave enough to get it.
They are stunning. I like that and the Emperor. I know they're not expensive, but I do like the Emperor. Is it the Emperor with the black and white stripes? Or with blue on them as well?
Not
when
sure.
it's young, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Juveniles, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I didn't know they changed colour.
So, Reef King, I gave a cyclist a slap in London. It was on CCTV GBH.
What?
Okay.
Is that a true story? That can't be a true story.
I dose all 3 from my Nano. One solution works wonders and keeps it. Absolutely. I mean, I don't know. I think we must cover all for Reef in virtually every live stream with someone using it. I've been, as you know, when I set up the 170, I used it because of the recommendations on here from Hayley and Julie, and there was loads of people using it. And I've got to say, I think it's really easy. And I think also one dosing pump, you do dose all your elements. So it's a really simple solution, certainly on a Nano. So I agree with you, Andy, on that one. FB in wife's name. So Russell, if you look up, either look up Love to Reef, because there's a Facebook page group, and if you go on to that, and then obviously therefrom you can message me, or go on to Paul Longhurst, which is me. It might be easier to find Love to Reef. So
let's have a look.
look on
Love
that.
Islands come up.
I wouldn't surprise me if I seen you on that next year.
What is that body? He's on there straight away.
Bloody hell, with that show not going on. There's no
one of like the what would it be, a Christmas special or something?
The Christmas special.
He'd be sitting there and he'd have his phone out. What are you doing, Jay? I'm looking at my fish tank. What do you mean?
There'll be no entertainment there.
It's now -5 and it's cold where I come from.
Well, I think there'll be plenty of entertainment there, Jay.
Oh, thanks, mate. Join. I've joined. Love to Reef.
Oh yeah, excellent. Thank you. It's 2 tickets.
Very good.
Hope you've been building your fish tank, your fish traps, just in case. Not too sure. what that question is. Excellent. Thanks, Russell. Right, okay. I'll speak to you on there, and we'll sort out a ticket for you. So thank you. That'd be great. Right, we are at the end of the comments. So what are we going to discuss now?
Before you go on, we've still got to hear Jay's tip of the week for this week, don't
Hey, what about that?
No way.
we? You've had an hour and 40 minutes.
Throw me under the bus there.
I did warn you at the start of the stream we were going to do it, so...
Even when you're on holiday, don't overeat. There you go.
No, that's not...
That's lame.
What? All right.
You're not going to get away with that one.
A lifestyle one. I mean, you want a serious reefing tip?
Yeah, we want
Well,
a reefing one.
occasionally a decent reefing tip would be good, Jay.
A decent reefing tip. Well, I mean, what have I done today that's been really... I can't really think, to be honest. Apart from having some microfiber cloths in different colours for your glass. That's about it.
So do the colours make a difference?
Yeah,
What?
so is the yellow better than the green?
Well, they are different textures, yeah. It's bloody...
I was joking.
No, they are. They genuinely are different textures. Like that blue one there, it's much finer than this one here.
This is what you want. This is what you want here, which is the flipper mitt.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, look at that.
That's
bad boy.
I think you've just been trumped by the flipper mitt there, Jay. Look at that.
Microfiber on one side, and then the other side a wee polishing pad for the glass.
Yeah.
What more could you want?
See
And
what?
I'm going to give a shout out to Coral Reef Queens because they sent me that. So thank you very much to them. That's my wee flipper puppet.
That's just trumped my little microfiber cloth.
You can even make it.
Excellent. Put some eyes on it. It looks like a little whale.
Little whale.
Yeah, it's got a blue back.
It's a manta ray. It's a big manta ray.
I can't believe we've been reduced to
What has gone on with this live stream? It used to be quite good. No,
It's a puppet.
Yeah, I know. Only some people will get that. I think.
I know.
I mean, you are known to have a few gloves, aren't you, Ross? You are.
Well, I do you know what? I think the
I
best
many
ever
gloves.
was the sheeping glove. I've got to say, I don't think anything will top that.
That was probably my tip of the century, shall we say.
And am I right in saying there was a couple of American YouTubers who then, funny enough, put videos out afterwards on that unique idea?
Yeah.
You're joking.
Although I'm going to throw out there and say, if you actually pay attention to a lot of the channels, things that we cover on the live stream seem to get covered very quickly in the following weeks on certain people's YouTube videos when you watch them and you go, where did they pick up that ideas from? So yeah, it's one that I did notice that after the lambing glove one that there was a couple of those videos popped up within the next few weeks, and I thought, I wonder where that's came from, but yeah, it's good.
Digging around this live stream for some content, God help them.
There might be enough for an advert.
Oh goodness me!
How to make a puppet out of a glove or a towel? Do you know what? Jay's gonna sew two of the towels together, put an elastic band around the bottom, and say, "Look what I've done! It's cost nothing."
Because yes, money saving tip.
If it works, mate.
It does, because it does really annoy me when I've got marks on the glass or streaks on the glass. Just ruins the lucky tank. You've got to have it perfectly buffed up. I do anyway. Maybe it's
a
buff tank is a happy tank. Is that right?
Yeah, a buff tank is.
What is your glass cleaner of choice, Jay?
Fritz.
Oh, yeah, same
me
here.
too.
Yeah,
I was just looking. I knew I had it out earlier, so
yeah. I don't know where mine is. I need to get a new bottle. Actually, I'm nearly out of mine.
that stuff.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got to say, even though people say, well, you use just water and stuff like that, I mean, it's what, 13? It's probably a lot more now. I think the last bottle, it was about $12.99 because I've still got the price on it. God knows how much it is now. It's probably gone up by quite a bit. But for me, it lasts ages. So it's worth the money, I think.
Yeah,
I think I've had that for about a year, and there's probably still maybe just under a quarter of that bottle left. So you don't need much. A couple of sprays does the full tank. Well, my full tank anyway. So.
Yeah,
it is really good stuff. But salt's horrible, isn't it? Like, it gets everywhere. It gets like down the back, down the sides. It's horrible.
I've never suffered with salt creep on either of my tanks. I've never had salt creep for some reason. I don't know why I've managed to escape that.
I don't know how you've managed.
Do you think it's because of the surface agitation? So if you look at Jay's tank, maybe it's the angle. It looks like there's a lot of agitation on the surface. So therefore, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but Is it because then you get a lot of water not spilling over, but then you get the evaporation? It's quite close to the surface. Because I find the DD jump guards
doesn't look like it's moving. To be fair, look at that. It looks like a mill pond.
No, there's a bit of a ripple at the top of that, mate.
You tight gate. You even put his.
I've not quite got the tsunami that you've got going on, but I have got a ripple.
No, that's like a boiling cauldron compared to yours.
Yeah. Maybe I turn that picture down a bit, mate.
Well, on tonight's stream, we're going to compare surface movement and
Paul's
surface
got
agitation.
some agitation. Yours is not moving at all.
So that is just purely the return pump.
Yeah, that's all mine does too.
Yeah. And it's pointed out. I mean, I've got no idea if the circulation is good enough for mine. Until you put coals in, you don't really know if it's enough. So my plan is not to have a power head and just run it on that. Whether I get away with it or not depends on the coals, doesn't it? I suppose. But yeah. Right. So
you don't have to have wave makers according to Ross anyway. By the looks of it,
you've got a Nero 3, haven't you? You've got a Nero 3.
Yeah, so I've got a Nero 3 that does the flow for the torches and so on, and then the return pump's literally just for a return pump and a bit of surface agitation. That's it. So yeah, it works fine for me, to be fair.
It works. Don't change it, mate, if it's working.
Yeah.
No.
Just ignore me winding you up.
I think it'll give it straight back. So tip of the week: spend less on holidays and more on reef tanks.
Yeah, that's probably a good tip. Yeah.
I tell you what, Kim has got you off the hook because I got to say, smart plug with fan was a good tip of the day.
Was it? Do you reckon?
I think so.
I still can't get over how much technology's moving. I think it's because I'm getting old now. But the fact that you can turn something on from outside your house still just blows my mind. And when my 70-year-old mother-in-law
Jay's standing outside the house with a big long stick at a switch. That's what he's trying to do. And he's going, "This is brilliant."
It's not real. When my mother-in-law came round and I said, "Right, I'm going to put the fan on," she's like, "What do you mean you're going to put the fan on?" I was like, "I'm going to put the fan on in the room, so don't impact your skin, basically." And she was blown up. Like, she's in the mid-70s. She was like, "God, this is like."
There must be some power in that fan if it blew it away, mate.
Back down the stairs.
It's that white one that I did the other tip on, which was put the ice packs on the back of it. You remember that?
Yeah.
That was another tip that I did.
But it is amazing. I mean, you've got the plug there, you've got the fan, and then you've got your camera. So you can be paranoid, but for you, it gives you peace of mind, doesn't it? So, yeah, there we go.
Thanks again.
Yeah, there we go. Off the hook there, Jake. I think that was pretty good.
God bless.
We'll give him that one. I think that's fair.
Thank you.
I have a pure white Alveopora. No, it's not there. Just wondered if anyone else has one. I must admit, I've never had Alveopora, so I know very little about them. I don't know if anyone else has.
They are nice, aren't they?
How to fold microfiber.
Quite easily. I fold them all the same way as well because it looks nice.
So what we've got Jay's broom cupboard, and that is the equivalent of Ross's shelf.
The people mock, right? But everybody's got all these bits of kit. That's just you have to have it, don't you? In this hobby.
Yeah.
You do, and no one tells you the amount of stuff like that you can accumulate. And then you look at it and think, have I really bought all of that stuff? And half of it I very rarely use, if at all. You end up accumulating just a load of toot in reefing terms.
Yeah.
I mean, I sold 2 of my fresh water tanks that I had last weekend. And when I was doing that, I was cleaning out the cupboards below them. And I must have had probably 30 plus bottles of different products or different things. And every one of them was out of date, or the bottom of them had all separated and so on. So I had to go and pour them all out and bin every one of them because I thought, it's freshwater stuff. I'm never going to use them again. They've been sitting there for I don't know how long. They're all out of date. Complete waste of money.
Yeah.
You always have loads of stuff. And everybody's got a towel on hand because you always know you need a towel. Every job is like water's coming out.
I've got a pile next to my tank that's set out all the time just for different towels and so on.
There you go, look, everybody's got a little towel rail.
I'll even go further than that, Jay. Look, there's my pile of microfibers.
See? Exactly. Look, this is
they're ready to go.
I feel inadequate because all mine are in the garage because I haven't really needed it because this tank's only wet. So I usually have a couple of towels in here. I'm gonna
get a heated towel rail here, I think, next time.
Oh, nice! Just so that it's keeping your hands nice and warm.
Oh, because you get out of the shower, you need a towel. If you're doing anything with your reef tank, you always need a towel, don't you? Always.
You do.
Yeah. There you go.
I do. Right, just moving on. So Tekka's reef. I lost my dad to cancer, so got into reefing, helped big time. Yeah, so sorry about that. You lost there. Yeah, I lost my mum to cancer a few years ago as well. So yeah, but reefing certainly helped. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, mate.
Neil Smith, hello guys, how it's going? It's going well, I think.
It's going.
Yeah, we've only got 9 minutes left. It's as usual. It's flown by. I used a Tunzi window cleaner. I never heard of that. I've seen Tunzi. Let's have a look at that. Gordon the Gopher. That's not nice to call Jay that. It's terrible.
But Ailey, I thought Ailey was supposed to get rid of all the nasty comments.
On the whole slagging Jay thing tonight, do you know who it actually reminds me of? Is David Dickinson with his new tan.
Real deal.
He's got that look about him tonight. There's a David Dickinson
This
tan.
week, that's a real Bobby Dazzler.
There we go. That's it.
So Jay, what are you trying to sell?
I don't know.
He's mud. Buy my mud.
He's mud.
My mud. I can sell muds to people in Britain.
Dear. I use RO and Blue Roll. I tell you what, Blue Roll is
Blue
something
Roll.
else.
Oh,
I tell you
wow.
what. Years ago, I started with kitchen roll, but Blue Roll is so much cheaper and it's so much better. There we go. So let's
Blue
face
roll
it.
on hand.
Blue Roll. That is ace stuff.
It definitely saves spills and all kinds of things. Absolutely. Yeah, 6 to 12. It's a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper buying it in bulk. That's for sure.
Costco used to do really good deals on it, actually, where you could get which is like a big bale of it that you could struggle to carry out the checkout, but it was massive.
Yeah. Next to your toilet rolls and your kitchen roll.
You can't carry anything out of Costco. Everything's just like indulgent.
Yeah.
I went to buy a cake and it was like for 300 people. It was ridiculous.
I hate Costco because Jill always goes, we'll go there because we'll save money and we buy something. And I say it's cost us 200 quid. It's 200 quid for toilet rolls because you buy loads of other stuff you don't need. So I said it's easier for me to go to Tesco's and buy toilet rolls because it won't cost me 200 quid.
Yeah.
But we need it. No, we didn't need it. So I hate Costco. But there we go.
Yeah, Costco's
a lovely place, but I hate going there.
It just feels very big.
Yes. RODO water in a spray bottle and microfiber can't go wrong. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Orville. God, that's going back a few years.
What's going on here?
That's a brush. We've got a whole list, right? So how many? Well, you've got City and Sweet.
Just saying the age of our viewers here.
I know. What who remembers Rainbow?
I don't know. These are all like from the 70s, aren't they? These like.
Did you not? No. Do you not remember Rainbow and Jay?
No.
Bungo, Zippy,
no,
George.
Bungle, not Bongo. It's Bungle one to the
Bungle.
brown.
Well, there we go. Bungle. Yeah. Bongo.
Zippy. And then there was,
hey, so you do know Jeffrey?
Jeffrey, yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Right, okay. I didn't realise we were going to go in that direction tonight, but hey ho.
Window cleaners use RO.
They do, yeah.
They do because I use it from Spotless.
Oh, here we go. We got the S word. Oh, no.
They keep tagging me, by the way, on the
almost a full stream without mentioning the S word, and he throws it in there.
It was that either
it's because I'm always jostling with the window cleaners when I go get my RO water. It's all the window cleaners.
You're jostling with the window.
Yeah.
You got your two containers and they got a van full.
I've got my 120-litre bucket and they've got vans filling up with it.
He's giving it to the whole. Oh, it's a really Bobby Dazzler of a van you've got there, mate.
Excuse me, sir. Can I fill my little bucket up?
So you don't want to queue behind the window cleaner, then, do you? When you've got 25 litres.
Yeah, but they do use RO because they don't have to dry the windows. No chamois.
No chamois. There we go.
Yeah.
There's a tip. I thought they had to do it because it was legal. Legally, they have to use RO water. I didn't realise that's because it's.
No, because there's no mineralisation in it, so they don't have to shine it.
Yeah.
You can just wash it and then leave it.
Yeah.
I've washed my car there once and it was amazing.
But using Spotless?
Yeah, I've like rinsed the car off with the Spotless water. And it was really good, yeah. I didn't have to chamois it and there's no stains. There's no watermarks.
Oh, brilliant.
There we go. There's another tip of the day. Not reefing, of course. But use so basically wash your car.
I'll tell you what happened,
and then use RO to rinse it off. Is that what you're saying, Joe?
Sometimes when you go, their system doesn't work, doesn't let you log in, and it says you've got, I think it's like 50 gallons free. They let you use it for free. Yeah. So I filled my bucket up and I thought, well, what am I going to do with the rest of it? So I thought I just started spraying on the car and just washed the car down with it.
So rather than letting the next guy that comes behind you fill up his tank for free, you thought, I'm going to pour it all over the ground. That's a really good idea.
No, it was, you're making me sound bad now. I feel guilty. It was like every user gets to use it a certain amount for free because the login wasn't working. Anyway.
And now you've got a hose pipe ban down there. That's the thing.
This was years ago. This was about a year ago.
Yeah.
Well, here we go.
We'll check CCTV to when he done it. So there's a few there about Ross. I think it's a mixture of the salt used and the surface agitation. I changed salt and immediately got salt creep. Evaporation makes salt creep worse. I think the QT tanks with a fan are covered in it, especially with the heat. Yeah.
So you've got no movement in your tank. That's what we're saying.
Turkey baster. We're not going there with a turkey baster. So, have you got a small makeup brush to keep the corals clean?
Now, you're laughing at that one, but I actually done that. I bought a little kit of makeup brushes for Gwen. So remember when my Zoas had Zoapox?
Yeah.
So one of the videos I watched, and it says buy a little makeup brush and you can gently brush round about them to see if the bits come off, to see if it is sand or anything like that. And that's what I've done. And it does work, to be fair. So he's got a point with that one. If you can get the little makeup, it's like I bought a little plastic kit that came with like 10 different brush sizes in it. And you just use them to get in between all little bits of corals without actually annoying them. So it does work.
There we go. So another tip.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Live stream sponsored by Mr. Sheen. Brilliant. Jay doesn't do anything cheap as chips. Obviously. Yeah, I can't live without Blue Roll. Absolutely. They've got them littered around the house. The Kimberly Clark. That's quite an expensive brand, isn't it? The Kimberly Clark one. That's Blue Roll. I'm sure it is. Kimberly Clark. They do all that kind of stuff. I think that's the market version.
I think. I don't know. They do. Oh no, I'm not gonna go there.
Probably not. Let's move on. I use Grease Lightning glass cleaner.
Grease Lightning.
You need to be careful using glass cleaner products.
That can't be reef safe.
They're not reef safe at all.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. You can't just use normal glass cleaner, no?
Yeah.
No.
So we go from Mr. Sheen to Nookie Bear. Who remembers Nookie Bear?
Not me.
No, must be me now. I'm showing my age.
Nookie Bear. That sounds.
Nookie Bear sounds like something that you shouldn't Google.
Yeah, it wouldn't be accepted nowadays. To be fair, that is not. That wouldn't be. That's probably in the 70s. So you can imagine, obviously, what went on in the 70s. I think it's 70s. Nookie Bear 70s or 80s. Either way, it's back in the day and probably best there.
That's controversial. Nookie Bear.
My English teacher was in Rainbow for 2 years. Roger Walker. That's brilliant. No to Spotless.
Yeah.
1 litre for $9.99 for Greased Lightning glass.
I would honestly avoid that like the plague, to be honest. I'm not disputing it probably cleans glass very well, but I wouldn't put it near a reef tank.
Fair enough.
I don't even know. I think there's some wind-ups going on here.
There we go. I'm 70, so bet you don't remember Torchy the Battery Boy. I'm gonna have to Google that. Is that it? Is this a wind-up?
Cannot be real.
Torchy the Battery. John, I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Torchy the Battery.
I think Kayla needs to get on with some monitoring of these comments because I don't think so.
Yeah, absolutely. Operation U Tree got Nookie Bear. Not surprised. Not surprised at all. Brilliant.
Oh wow, Torchy the Battery Boy is actually a real thing.
Really?
It looks very.
You got that on a private device or on a work device?
So I'm sitting here, my work's phone and my phone, and I thought,
which one?
I'll do my phone. Yeah, I thought I'm not using the works phone to Google that one. I'll use my own one.
I've done that so many times. Your mates have said something, and I'm like, "What the hell's that?" And I've started googling it. They're like, "Oh."
I think you can say excellent. It was in black and white, so I think we can say it's quite a few years ago.
If anything,
It's
this
true.
live stream's taken us back to good times, hasn't it?
And I think it's 10 o'clock, so we will finish on Popeye.
Classic.
You can't go wrong. Right,
And
so
that's,
the 12.
that's fish related as well, I believe, isn't it?
It's what, sorry?
Isn't that fish related? It's like a disease, isn't it? That's some sort of.
Yeah.
Yes, so fish do get Popeye. I have
Yeah,
seen
I
it.
thought so. Yeah, you see, that's quite a clever little one, you know?
And then we've got He-Man as well.
Oh, yes.
So we will finish on He-Man. So we are 1 minute past 10. So thank you everyone for joining in on a Friday night in the middle of summer when the weather, certainly where I am, it's been 25, 26 degrees today. So thank you very much. And also thank you for all those people who reach it this far if you're on the playback as well. So on a playback, getting through 2 hours, fair play to you. I mean, 2 hours, anytime it would be live or playback. So thank you very much for joining, gents. Thank you as always. Next week is bank holiday, isn't it?
It is.
So we won't be on next week because it's bank holiday. I know I'm
We're
not
having
around.
a holiday. Yes.
We are. We're taking the weekend off, I think.
Thank you,
on
boss.
that side. So
Giving us
we'll
a
be
holiday,
back.
Ross.
Cheers, Gaffer.
I've discussed it with Jay anyway, because I know Jay's not around. So sorry, Ross. I don't think the memo was shared as far.
No, that's fine, mate.
If you and Steve want to come on, so I've made a decision on all our behalves. Apologies.
Well, you never know.
Well, there you go.
All right, we'll give it a miss.
Yeah. Right. Thank you all. Happy reefing. See you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
Have a good one, folks.